Hello everyone, welcome to 3ddesignacademy.com. In this lesson, we'll continue with part 100 of the Mercedes-Benz E-Class Coupe project. Okay, so continuing on from the previous lesson, I'm going to keep working on this area. So in the previous one, I actually did a lot of explanation for this, what needs to happen in order to get this highlight to flow well. So let's actually go ahead and execute this. So what I'm going to do is, well, I don't think I'm going to toss everything. I'm actually going to keep most of it. And well, yeah, let's try to extract some of these over here and try to get them situated onto the main set of surfaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, well, I think I'm just going to grab these ones over here and I'm just going to put them over here in the default layer. Everything else can be gone. So let's just do that. Actually, just in case, I'm just going to keep the test layer and I'll just turn that off. Okay, so I'm just going to delete the construction history over here and I'm going to start by splitting this one and I'm going to rework this area over here. So actually, I should have, let's grab these over here and I'm going to delete all of these because these are now garbage. Okay, and so is this one, but let's just keep it for now. No, actually, this one, I think it should be good. Actually, this one too. I'm going to delete this one, and I'm pretty sure this was updated. Wait, was it? Yes and no, but I think I can just grab the other one. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this surface from test layer. I'm just going to put it here. And I think that's good. And these ones, I'm just going to delete the COS. These ones also have to be, I probably have to redone. I'll have to see. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to split this one. So let's go ahead and grab this one and I'm going to untrim. Well, that's the COS. And basically this is the outline. So that's also going to act as my guide. And let's go ahead and untrim this one over here like this. Delete the COS first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to match the angle of this one as much as possible. So let's do that. So I'm going to say insert on this fillet over here. Like this. And well, I don't think I'm going to go quite that far. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'll just do something like that. Let's see. Now what I want is this angle, basically this trim angle, and this to be as close as possible. So I mean that would be ideal. It doesn't as it's going to give me the best continuity. But even just something like this, I think it should be okay. So let's give this a go. So I'm just going to place it over here. And I'm just going to use, well, I can always move this a little bit rearward too, but since it's about equidistance, I don't think I'm going to quite do that. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing over here. So actually, let's do this. I'm going to just extract this over, let's see. I'm just going to duplicate a curve like this, and I'm going to extend it. Oh, that's a pretty good match. I'm just going to snap it over here. And I'm going to go ahead and extend this back a little bit. Oops. Grab this one, extend it back a little bit like this. And I'm going to do about equidistance from here to here too. Now that does mean this one has to be, it looks like this one also has to be redone. It's annoying, well, but I don't think it's going to be a life or death situation. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to redo that fillet. So I'm just going to project here and I'm going to project over here. And I think I'm actually going to project this one over here so that I can trim the whole thing. So I'm just going to temporarily project it like this. So what you have is a piece here and this piece. Let me just hide this fillet over here like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to trim this one and I'm going to trim this one, and connecting between the two is going to be a freeform blend from here to here like this. So simple freeform blend like this, and looks like it needs a little bit of explicit control, degree 5. Just make it clean like that. Okay, so I know that this one has a little bit of bias just because of the crown, but I think I'm just going to leave it. I don't think it's going to create too much problem. However, I am going to do a freeform, not a freeform blend, but I'm just going to connect it with a curve, a blend curve, see if there's an alternative. Yeah, I'd rather just keep the CV. As you can see over here, blend curve does balance things out a little bit better, but I think it's just leaning a little bit too much towards this side. So I think I'm just going to keep this as is. Okay, so delete the construction history over here, and I need to go ahead and divide some of these over here. So this one was originally aligned to this one, so I think I can leave it as is. However, the only thing I need to do is just make sure to extend it back, snap it over here like that, and that should do it. Now, as far as this one, why is it so off? Oh, because that was due to a fillet. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend this one back over here. So this is the original fillet that was there, except it was aligned to that surface, and that's fine. I'm just going to delete the COS. I'm going to untrim and delete the COS like this, and I'm just going to snap it over here like this. Now, looks like there's a little bit of discrepancy. That's fine. Oh, actually, that's not fine. Oh, yeah, that's that should be okay. All right, and the next thing I'm going to do is just extend this one over here. Because of the patch size change, I'm going to just snap it over here, and I'm just going to snap this one over here, and looks like it's a little bit over, so let's go ahead and just grab this edge over here and just snap that. Okay, because the movement was such a small amount, I'm hoping that this the continuity is still curvature. Well, which is not. Okay, which is it's unfortunate, but it shouldn't be a deal breaker. Okay, so now I'm just going to, well, I wonder if it's better to align this one. Technically, I'm supposed to be aligning this one to this one because this is the primary, whereas this is the fillet. But let's take a look. Okay, so I'm just going to align it like this, and I'll probably say vector. So that's curvature, and let's see if this is going to be curvature. Yet, no, it's not. Let's see. Let's find out why. I'm guessing this is because it's a little bit longer than this one. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm just going to say revert, and I'm going to do an extend from here to here, and that should from the side view match. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to align this one, position, project like this. And of course, due to the angle of this one and this one, you'll see that there's a little bit difference, and that is causing a bit of a problem. And that's where align needs to come in. So let's go ahead and try to do that. Actually, with this setup over here, I'm pretty sure I can reduce the amount of degrees. So I might give that a go. So let's see if I can do that. So instead of 7 degrees, I'm going to try 5. Yes, looks like there's a curvature deviation. Well, it's not too bad. Now, is it really 0.97 off? I'm not sure. Let's check the highlight first. Yeah, I would say that's probably not as bad as it seems. Okay, so if that's the case, let's check to see if I can get that aligned. Okay, so right now you'll see that the curvature deviation is quite off. So I'm going to, well, technically I'm supposed to be aligning this one, so let's give that a go. G2, it's going to be edge, and I might say a vector, and of course that's doing that. It's actually causing failure. So now I'm going to align this one over here, and that doesn't give me the result I want either, which is actually vector. Wow, that's really annoying. Okay, so it's a failing position over here. All right. If that's the case, I'm not. that's okay. So let me try to just manually do this. So first of all, let me just delete the construction history on both sides. And it just, you know, it's curvature that's off. So I'm just going to grab these CVs over here, set this to 5,000. I'll sensitivity to 5,000 and just try to drag it down. Okay, so it looks like that doesn't work. It's just bouncing up and down. Okay, so let's try this side. It's 1.0 going back and forth between 1.0. That means I have to touch this one, but there's going to be a limit to how much I can do until position starts to fail. And that's not doing it either. Starting to 1.0. That's really strange. Now, because of this is a larger piece, I would prefer the curvature deviation to be a little bit less. But it's really not helping me. Okay, so it looks like that worked a lot better. So let's try this one. So I know it's a 1.0 over here. What I'm trying to do is get this to come down. Let's see, I would say that's probably no limit. Okay, let's see if I can adjust this one a little bit, see if that works. It's down to 0.3. Let's see, that one, nope, that's of no help. That's not doing anything. This one is doing something, but it's not doing what I need it to do. So let's see if this one works. Nope. Well, I think the last resort would be to just add more degrees or spans, but I don't really want to do that. So let's see if I can play around with a couple more CVs, see if I can get it to work. What I really need is I need this to come down. Well, this one is doing it, but as you can see, it's starting to... that's not working either. Okay, let's see. I'm wondering... Yeah, that's not working. Okay, you know what? I hate to do it, but if I really want to get curvature, I don't even know if it's worth it. Okay, so I'm just going to add another degree over, well, it might be better if I just do it here because it's a smaller piece. So let's see if I can do that. Okay, I'm just going to do that over here. Nope, that's not helping. Okay, so if that's the case, let me just revert it back. So it's 5 degrees, and I'm just going to revert this back to 7. Just going to grab this CV over here. So that's the thing, it's just not going down. Just bouncing up and down. Ugh. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. It's a shame, but... Well, I guess that there's one more thing I can do. I can probably try to play around with this, the location of this one. Just using Y. Nope, that doesn't do anything. It's reducing it a little bit, but it's still off by 0.36, 0.35. It's just not... Okay. Well, the fundamental problem is the direction of the surface that is going over here is a little bit different than this surface over here. So in surface construction like this, it just doesn't like to, it's not as natural. It just doesn't do it. Unless I add spans, it's going to be really difficult to get rid of that. So in this case, I think I'm just going to let that be and just call that good. Now it's probably, well, I'm not sure because right now I think this portion is really sensitive. So I'm not sure if it's really worth it to do that. I mean, it highlights well. And if it's just a deviation slightly over here, I'm pretty sure if there's a fillet going over here, that's just going to eat it anyways. Because I believe this one is pretty soft. So maybe that's okay. Yeah, it's got a nice soft transition, so maybe that's okay. We'll see. All right, that's our this one. I'm going to trim. It is 5 degrees though. If I cannot get curvature, I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible. And let's go ahead and work on this one. So I'm just going to untrim. I know it's a 7 degrees over here, but I'm going to try to clean that up too. And let's take a look. Okay, so here's another issue. Because of the angle difference between this one and this one, this might be a little bit challenging, but I'll have to see. Okay, before I do that though, these ones I'm actually going to redo because it's not that difficult. Well, actually, you know what? Just going to hide it in the test layer. And I might have to come back. But what's critical is that I do redo this one. So I'm just going to make sure that it works, and I'm just going to make sure that these two, between these two, are continuous. Okay, so I'm just going to trim it for now because that's all I needed to go to. And this one over here, I'm just going to untrim like this. Whoops. And I'm just going to delete the COS, and this one is going to be shortened up to this point. So I'm going to grab this one like this. I'm going to snap it over here like that. And I'm just going to project it. Project a line is going to do G2. I'm going to just do it like this. And I'm also going to reduce the number of degrees like this. And hopefully that'll give me a nice continuity. No, it looks like it's not. All right. That's might be okay, might not be. Let's find out. So what I'm going to do is, well, this is the primary surface. So I'm going to try aligning this one over here. But like I said, the patch is a little bit bigger over here, so that might have an effect. So let's see. So I'm just going to grab this one. And I'm going to align, and of course that does fail position and tangency. So I'm going to have to, well, if that's the case, why don't I just make this a level, degree, 7 degree. Well, let's do this. I'm just going to make tangent. Oh, even tangency fails. That's unexpected. I mean, it could be due to the CV structure over here, because I'm pretty sure it requires a little bit of CV structure shift. Because this has a little bit different CV structure than the fillet beneath it. That could be causing a little problem. So why don't I do this? I'm just going to make this a degree 7, unfortunately. I'll prefer it to be a little bit simpler, but well, it calls for a little bit more data. Okay, so I'm just going to align this one. And I'm just going to say tangent. Even tangent fails. Okay, so I'm going to say vector. That's strange. Okay, so if that's the case, I'm going to see instead of, I mean, at least these are continuous, so I'm guessing, I'm wondering why it's such a big difference between the two. I mean, that's pretty tight. So let me just revert. And I'm going to just project this one. Well, it's already trimmed. Okay, so if that's the case, I'm just going to align G2 over here. And position influence will be set to max. Blending will be on. I'm going to say no blending. I'm going to just reduce the degree to 5. That's good. I'm just going to delete the construction history. Now what you could do is you could probably just have it curved like this, but I'm not quite sure if I want to do that. Okay, so now that's done. Let's just check the continuity over here. It's still positioned. And wow, it's still positioned. That's actually quite frustrating. Okay, so let me just do this. I'm going to just make it a position. So it's still curvature, at least to that point. And this one I'm going to, this is going to be a little bit difficult to hand coordinate it. Okay, so let's make this tangent over here, at least. So let me just grab tangency. And if it's curvature, deviation, I'm going to just try to hand coordinate it as much as possible. Okay, so for this one right now, let me just make sure that it's actually positioned. So like that. And I'm going to make sure Okay. That did make things all spike a little bit. So let's do this. I'm going to revert. And I'm just going to push this one a little bit more inboard. Just manually do it. Or I guess outboard, I should say. Okay, so I got curvature there. And curvature deviation needs a little bit of work. Actually, you know what? I'm wondering if this has a bit of an issue. So I'm just going to copy paste this one. And let's see if this one aligns. So I'm just going to align it. Oh, okay. So that might have something to do with it. So let's just check the deviation between these. Because if the fundamental... that's not... Well... I'm going to just... G2... maybe? Well, the only way to find out is actually do it. Okay, so let me, I wonder if I can delete these. Yeah, I can. Okay, well, I mean, it's just curvature deviation, so I can try to fit that in because I don't, yeah, let's try it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull some CVs here and there and see if it fits. If it does, great. If it doesn't, then I have a more fundamental problem. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this one over here. I'm just going to start pulling CVs. Just looking at the deviation over here. Oh, yeah, that's not good. Just going to pull this one over here like this. Okay, so I'm going to get this one too. Oh, actually, we need to go the other way. It's starting to fail that. Okay, if that's the case, let's grab these ones over here. Okay, that one works a lot better. It's starting to fail tangency, so I'm just going to go right below. I'm going to grab these ones. To just go until it becomes a little bit better. That actually doesn't. Okay. So I'm just going to reduce the center, the deviation to the center. Okay, so that's probably the limit. Okay, so all the combs are gone. So it's just a matter of getting these to align. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this one. See if I can. Okay, so that's a max because it's starting to fail position. I'm going to grab this one. Go the other way. I'm starting to... Okay. That's a limit. I'm going to adjust this one. It just takes a lot of back and forth. Okay, and I'm going to grab tangency over here. Oh, it's starting to fail position over here, so don't want to do that. I'm going to do that. All right. And what else can I do? Well, I can always grab these both. So let's grab this one. I'm just going to move it side by side, see if I can get it. Never mind. Okay, so I would say that's a limit. So I think I probably have to plane on with the surrounding CVs. So I'm just going to push this one. And this one. Looks like that's actually increasing, so I probably have to go the other way until... So at this point, you're just playing with the tolerances. So I'm just going to push that one. So that's gone. Let's see if I can go back over here. There we go. And I got curvature. That took a lot of work, but I got curvature on all sides. Well, except for this one. So I would say it's pretty good. And well, I was able to clean up a little bit. Okay, so highlight looks pretty good. Yeah, there's a little bit of transition here, but I don't think it's too bad. Well, actually, let's take a look. Yes and no. That's actually starting to create a little bit of an issue with the highlight. Okay, you know what? I'm going to focus on the highlight because that is, well, That's it. However, I'm going to just copy these three surfaces over here. I'm just going to hide. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to just make sure that it's curvature over here. Just plain curvature. And I'm going to make sure it's curvature over here. And that does create a break. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if this one, yeah, that creates a tangency. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just push these together because there should be a little bit of balance between the two. So yeah, like I said, if it was a little bit different angle, I think this would have created a little bit better result. But since it doesn't, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to grab this CV over here like this, and I'm just going to push them both inboard. So right now you'll see that there is a tangency issue over here. So I'm just going to grab this one. Just going to push it inboard like this. At least get tangency corrected. Like that. Now there's a curvature deviation, but if you look at the highlight, the trends, well, other than the actual curvature issue, I think the issue is a little bit better than before. So now let's try to, because I think this is actually a very valid curvature issue, so let's try to do that too. So I'm going to now grab 3 CVs over here, like this, and hopefully, and I think I actually have to pull them out. Like this, so that I'm creating a little balance between the two. Oh, it's starting to fail, so I want to stop right there before it does. I'm going to grab all these 3 over here. And I'm going to do it before it fails over here too. And now let's see if I can. Okay, so now let's check the highlight. I think it's a little bit better other than the crease in the middle. So I'm going to create a little bit of balance. I'm going to grab this one, this one, this one, like this. And I'm going to see if I can get a little bit better result. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to try and just move both at the same time. Okay, that's good. Okay. Oh, that's not good. What is happening? Oh, okay, so that's really bad actually. Okay, so let's try this again. All right. So I'm just going to align this one. And I'm going to align this one. And I'm just going to push the CVs in. Delete the construction history over here. Surface continue on over here. And I'm just going to push it. Is it actually going inboard? Yes, it is. So that's good. And I'm going to push it on actually a little bit more, see if it curvature improves. No, that's starting to break the other way, so I would say that's probably the limit. Okay, so far the CV structure looks good, and I'm going to see if I can do that further by pushing all 3 in at the same time. I think it actually needs to go this way. Let's find out which direction it's actually traveling. Okay, so it's going this way. So I'm right now actually popping this out, which is good for continuity, but I'm not sure if it's actually good for the surface. So let's see. No, I think it's not. So let's grab this over here. See, this is a problem with having an angle that is not complementary. You know what? I wonder if I can do a different approach. Okay, so let's test this out. I'm actually going to delete this because, well, it's already hidden. I already have a patch there. So I'm going to see if I can just align it right here and create a different patch. Because I think this should be okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to strike a line like this. And I'm just going to make it a degree 2. Just going to align it over here. Well, I started to enclose over here, but I think that should be okay. Just a little bit at the end. Okay, so let's see if this works. Actually, if this is the case, I'm wondering if I can just do that. So let's do this. Instead of making like that, I'm just going to snap a curve over here. Change the angle a little bit. And I'm going to make this patch a little bit smaller too. Now, well, because this is the fender and it's just a large piece, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention. So I'm going to say hide unselected over here. And actually, I'm going to untrim this one. I'm going to untrim this one, untrim this one again. Let's do this again. Okay, so I'm going to grab these surfaces. I'm going to grab this curve. I'm going to grab this curve. Okay, so it looks like it's snapping right there, which is fine. I'm going to say hide unselected. Now it's, I would say it's probably equidistant, so I don't think I really need to make this any worse. So I'm just going to project this curve over here, and I'm going to project this curve over here. I'm going to trim, well, let's get rid of the COS over here. I'm going to trim this one, and let's redo this one over here. So delete the COS over here also. Just do that. Do a freeform blend between the two. Edge align on both sides. And I think that's fine. Well, let's hope so. Okay, now I'm just going to delete the construction history. Okay, so now the patch structure is going to change a little bit. Now I already have this, but it's already in the hidden layer. Well, actually, I'm just going to check. Yeah, I believe this is the one. Okay, so I'm just going to keep them in a hidden layer, and I'm going to access it later if I need to. Oh, actually, I do need this. Okay, so I'm just going to do a duplicate over here, like this. I'm just going to delete. And now, actually, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to just do a trim and convert. So what I'll do is, because I didn't mind the CV structure, so I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to, well, go back to whip 8. I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to say copy and paste to put it over here. The original patch that was here. I'm just going to do a trim convert. I think that should keep things a little bit more steady. So let's, first of all, I'm going to snap this one over here like this, and I'm going to just project this one over here like this. I'm just going to do a trim convert on this one, and I'm going to do a trim convert on this one. And I'm also going to make that a degree 5, and hopefully it'll work. Let's do the same thing over here as well. Degree 5, and you just have to convert it again. Okay, so I think that's good. And hopefully this will work a little bit better than before. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab the previous piece. Well, I don't need it anymore, so let's just delete. Let's delete the COS like that. And I'm just going to project align. So I'm going to grab this one, say project align there. So I got curvature, and I'm going to untrim this one like this. And I'm also going to project a line over here. Okay, I got curvature. This ideally should work. So let's find out. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this one over here. I'm just going to trim this one over here. And let's just check the structure. Oh, it's still off. That's weird. I mean, it is two different surfaces, but okay. It's not ideal. Let's see what I need to do to, Wow, the angle difference is even worse. That's unexpected. And actually quite frustrating. Okay, so if that's okay, so let's see what I can do in order to make sure that that works. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to try aligning it. Now, it could be due to the CV structure, just how it is, but wow, that's actually really frustrating. Well, it could be the CV structure difference because this is actually pointing this way, whereas this one is a little bit different. I mean, that could be a contributor, but even so, I thought I was hoping for a little bit better result, but it's, well, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and try to align this one over here. Okay, so I'm just going to do edge, and it looks like it's failing position, just failing everything. But I'm just going to check the CV structure. Okay, so it looks like that was pushed in, which is actually good, I think. Right, I don't think it's too bad. Let's do curvature. Yep, that's not horrible. At least the CV structure seems good, although I think this one is popping out a little bit too much. Okay, let's just check the highlight. It's not bad, except for this thing popping out over here. So I'm just going to do tangency over here. Okay, looks like it's actually failing. Let's do project like this. Let's just check it again. Okay, so I think the overall shape is a little bit better than before. Although I'm still not happy with it. Okay, so let's see. First of all, let me just get rid of this. There's going to be multiple COS, so I'm just going to delete this one. Okay, so it's curvature there. It's positioned there, but, well, I'm going to worry about that later. Okay, so tangency is still failing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab both of these, delete the construction history, and let's see if I can get this to work. Okay, so I'm just going to try and target a medium between the two. So first of all, let me just get rid of this curve over here. And I'm just going to push this in the y-axis. Okay. Because there's no point in just getting the continue right if you don't have good highlight. Oh, wow, that's a problem. Okay. Well, if that's the case, let's see. It's just bouncing up and down. That's a super frustrating. Okay. So let me just try aligning this one over to this side. I don't. Wow. Okay. Okay, so there's something funky going on here because I cannot get alignment to work. All right. So if that's the case, I'm going to grab align 2008 and see if this will work. So I'm going to modify both. And intersection, I will say leave it free and see if this one works. So I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to grab this one. That's feeling all over the place. If it's fixed, that doesn't help either. Wow, that's really not working in my favor. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to have to investigate this a little bit because something is off. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of study on this and to see what is going on and try to give you guys a little bit better result in the next one. All right, so that is it for part 100. We will pick this up in the next tutorial, and thank you guys for watching.